Hey everyone. So I want to talk about how to do an oral assessment on a VOR oral assessment according to the ACS standards. So of course we're going to be testing to the private pilot ACS standards where safety and proficiency are the standard, not perfection, as my examiner said on my private check ride. Um, So it'll be under task Bravo of navigation systems and radar services. So the code it'll really be under K1 is really all the knowledge, and then risk management is going to be R1 through R5, and skills are going to be S1 through S7. So we will be testing to these standards, so we can find out things like what kind of nav system is it? Is it ground based? Yes, so it's ground based according to K1, ground based. Of course, we're testing risk management. The risk management will be tested, such as how does it work? Uh, what are some errors? What kind of situational awareness or distraction do you face? What are its limits? And what other signals could you receive or lose on that frequency? And then of course the skills applied would be um, actually using it in the plane, determining your own position based off of how to use it, tracking, intercepting courses and radials or bearings, and so on and so forth. And so some questions you can ask to test your student on his knowledge could be, uh, and this isn't an exhaustive list, but there's definitely some. So you could start with, what does VOR stand for, and what type of nav is it? It's ground based. Is it ground based, satellite based, right? So you can ask him these things. So how do you locate a VOR? How do you tune it? How do you um, How do you tune to VOR? How do you identify it? How do you know it's in service or being maintenance? And then how can you determine your position? How do you know what radio or bearing you're on? Um, and then can you explain to me one of the limitations, one of the type of limitations that VORs have? What's caused this limitation? Can it be avoided? And then, how do you know the VOR you're using is accurate? So what kind of tests can you run to make sure it works? So these are some questions you can ask. But of course, they'd be flexible, right? So you'd want them to be flexible to each student. You'd want to make sure that you can ask different students the same question, even if you have to word it a little different. Make sure that they can all understand it, and know what you're trying to say, instead of just some sort of phrase uh, that is always used but maybe not quite understood as well. And this is definitely a good way to ask some questions, and then at the end, you can have the student. You can say, okay, well then let's see you tune one and identify one, and then of course you navigate to one. So that's what you do on your check rides. The examiner might say, okay, you know how to use one, then let's see how you use one. And then of course you can review his incorrect questions, critique him on areas that need improvement, so where he can study more, where where you think he did good but he could do better, and then of course where he did great, and you continue to prove his skill in that field, because you think he'll be fine, and as long as he doesn't become rusty and stays on top of his knowledge, then he'll continue. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.